Hello students, you all are welcome in grade 8, subject science, chapter number 17, the stars and solar systems. From that, our sub point, that is the moon's surface. Dear students, here you can see the surface of the moon where you can find craters. What are these craters? The moon is fascinating objects for the poets and storytellers, but when astronauts landed on the moon, they found that the moon's surface is dusty and barren. There are many craters of the different sizes. It also has a large number of steep and high mountains. Some of these are as high as the highest mountain on the earth. We also studied that the moon has no atmosphere. It has no water. Can any life exist on the moon? Can we hear any sound on the moon? We have learned in chapter number 13 that sound cannot travel when there is no medium. So how can we hear any sound on the moon? Naturally, we cannot find any type of sound on the moon because there is no atmosphere there, right? No gravitation is there. Here you can see an astronaut on the moon. Did you know on July 21, 1969 Indian time, the American astronaut, that is Neil Armstrong, landed on the moon for the first time. He was followed by Edwin Aldrin and Michael Collins, right? Third name. Now the next point, coming to the next point, that is the stars. What other objects do you see in the night sky? There is a large number of stars in the sky. Observe carefully on a dark night and from place away from a big city. Are all the stars equally bright? Are they of the same color? In fact, stars emit light of their own, means they are self-luminous body. The sun is also a star. Sun is our nearest star. So why does it appear so large compared to the other stars? Okay, you see that in a galaxy, in the sky, stars that they appear small, it means that they are very far away from us. Sun is the only one of the star which is nearest to the earth, right? You see, other stars are 10 times bigger or more than 10 times bigger than these stars. So, which appears a bigger, a football plays near you or football plays at distance of 100 meters, the stars are millions of times farther away than the sun. Therefore, the stars appear to us like a points. You can see here the sun is a nearly 150 following by 6 zeros, means that much kilometer, means 150 million kilometer away from the earth, sun, right? So the next nearest star is Alpha Centauri. It is at a distance of 40 following by 3, 6, 9, 12 zeros kilometer away from the earth. So can you read this distance in a kilometer? Conveniently. So some stars are even further away. Such large distances are expressed in another unit that is known as light years, right? So we measure the distance in kilometers. Similarly, if you want to measure the celestial object distance, you have require which unit? Light year. So it is the distance traveled by a light in a 1 year. So remember that the speed of the light is about 3 lakh km per second, right? So thus the distance the sun from the earth may be said to be about 8 light minutes. The distance of Alpha Centauri is about 4.3 light years. In fact, the stars are present in the sky during the daytime also. However, they are not visible then because of the bright sunlight, right? Stars are there only, right? Even in daytime also, but due to the sunlight, bright sunlight, we cannot visualize. So observe some of the prominent stars or just a group of stars in the sky, about 2 or 4 or more. What do you find? Do you find any change in the position of the stars in the sky? you will find that the stars appear to move from east to west. So the point is to be noted that stars appears to move from east to west. A star which is rises in the east in the evening and sets in the west in the early morning. Correct. That's why it moves from east to west. Why do stars appear to move from east to west? Let's find out. To prove this, let's we understand activity number 17.4. Stand in the center of the big room and start rotating. In which direction will the objects in the room appear to move? Do you see them moving in the direction opposite to your motion? Paheli recalls that when seizing the moving train, the nearby trees and the buildings appears to move in the backward direction. So if the stars appear to move from east to west, could it mean that the earth rotates from west to east? Correct. Now in activity number 17.5, take an umbrella and open it. Make about 10 to 15 stars out of white papers. Paste the one star at the position of the central rod of the umbrella and others are different places on the cloth near the end of the each spoke. That is according to figure number 17.9. Now rotate the umbrella by holding its center rod in your hand. Observe the stars on the umbrella. Is there any star which does not appear to move? Where is this star located? If there were a star located where the axis of the rotation of the earth meets the sky, could these stars also be stationary? So here through this activity we can prove that pole star which does not move but it appear to move, right? There is actually a star, the pole star, which is situated in the direction of the earth axis. It does not appear to move. You can see here pole star in this figure. The pole star lies close to the axis of the rotation of the earth. Now move to our next point, that is constellations. Look at the sky for the some time. Can you see some stars forming a group with the shape like those in figure number 17.8, 11. Here you can see some constellations in the night sky, arrangement of the stars, and this arrangement of the different stars, that is known as constellations. So the stars forming a group that has recognizable shape, it is known as constellations. Constellations were devised by the ancient people to be able to recognize the stars in the sky. The shape of the constellations resemble object familiar to those people. You can easily identify some constellations in the night sky. For this you should know what particular constellations looks like and where to look for it in the night sky. So one of the most famous constellations which you can see during summertime in the early part of the night, that is known as Ursa Major. Figure number 17.11a. 17.11 figure number A, that is Great Bear, Ursa Major. Then Orion, which is represented by like a, you see such type of shape you can find. And then you can see that Cassiopeia, W shape, and Leo Major. Leo Major means that you can find in that figure line figure you can find. So it is also known as Big Dipper, the Great Bear, or you can say Shaptarshi. Shaptarshi means what? There are 7 prominent stars in these constellations. It appears like a big ladle or question mark. There are 3 stars in the handle of the ladle and 4 stars in bowl. So in all ancient cultures, very interesting mythological stories have been associated with various constellations. Here you can find Dipper used for drinking water in the ancient times, right? Ursa Major, You can find Saptarshi, 7 stars. You can find this in summer season also, this constellation. Today even you can watch the different constellations that we have studied now that we are going to study. So Ursa Major means Saptarshi. Saptarshi has been associated with 7 well-known ancient Indian sages or rishis as shown in the figure below. According to the ancient mythology, 7 sages who form the Saptarshi means Satrushi preserve the eternal knowledge of the Vedas and explain it people in new age. You see, Saptarshi you can find that Marichi, Vasishtha, Angiras, Atri, Kratu, Pulha and Pulastya, like this way. Now activity number 17.6. Observe this constellation for p hours. Do you find any change in its shapes? Do you find any change in its positions? You will observe that the shape of the constellation remain the same. You will also find that the constellation appear to move in the sky from east to west as rotation of the earth from west to east. Now activity 17.7. It should be performed on a clear moonless night during the summer at about 9 p.m. Look towards the northern part of the sky and identify Ursa majors you may get from the elders in your family. Look at the 2 stars at the end of Ursa major. Imagine a straight line passing through these stars as. So you can find out pole stars from this Ursa major also. Here you can see Saptarshi 1, 2, 3, 4. With the help of Ursa Major, you can find pole star. So extend this imaginary line towards the north direction about the 5 times the distance between the 2 stars. This line will lead to a star which is not too bright. This is the pole star. So observe the pole star from the some time. Note down it does not move at all. Other stars drift from east to west. Now activity number 17.8. During the summer night, observe the Ursa Major 3 to 4 times at interval of 2 to 3 hours. Also locate the pole star each time. Does the Ursa Major appear to move from east to west? Does it appear to revolve around the pole stars? Compare observation with those figures 17.14. Now look, Ursa Major moves around the pole star. In fact, all stars appear to revolve around the pole star. It is to be noted that the pole star is not visible from southern hemisphere. Some of the northern constellations like Ursa Major may also not visible from the some points in the southern hemisphere. So you can find the pole star from northern hemisphere only. Okay. Now next constellation, that is Orion. Orion is another well-known constellation that can be seen during the winter in the late evenings. Means अभी आप देख सकते हो. Orion that you can observe now. आज रात को आप टेरेस पे जाओ and see. So it is one of the most magnificent constellation in the sky. It also has even 7 or 8 bright stars. That is figure number 17.11b. Orion is also called the hunter. Correct? The 3 middle stars represents the belt of the hunter. So the 4 bright stars appear to be arranged in the form of quadrilateral. So the star Sirius, which is the brightest stars in the sky. So which is the brightest stars brightest stars in the sky? Sirius, Sirius. So it is located close to the Orion. To locate Sirius, imagine straight line passing through the 3 middle stars of Orion. Look along with this line towards the east. This line will lead you to very bright stars. It is Sirius. So this is the Orion structure, Orion constellations, and from in the middle, when you see in the east direction, you can find Sirius, brightest stars. Okay, so this is Orion. Today you can watch this. How many stars are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it is also group of 7 stars. Orion. Here is the figure of Orion stars. So Orion constellations you can visualize today. Now next, Cassiopeia is the another prominent constellation in the northern sky. It is visible during the winter in the early part of the night. Wherever it looks like a destroyed letter, that is W. These also, or M. These Cassiopeia that you can find today also. This constellation also. So constellation does not have only a 5 to 10 stars. It has a large number of stars, right? So however we can see only the brightest stars in the constellation with our naked eye. All the stars which makes up the constellations are not just like a same distance. They are just in the same line of a sight in the sky. So today we stop here. Next time we will see the solar system. Have a nice day. Thank you.